What's going on, guys? Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the CR7 Chapter 5 Cut to Brilliance Nike MercurialX Proximo 2 Indoors. That is a very long name for what is essentially the indoor version of the SUPERFLY 5 in the latest CR7 colorway. So we'll take a look at the colorway itself, all the details on this particular shoe. We'll talk performance as well as how they fit and feel on feet. So if you want to learn more, please stick around. And if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $185 retail price. Keep in mind, there is a $10 premium on the CR7 signature colorway. Here's a look at the box, because that's all you get. They don't come with a string bag, surprisingly, despite being a top-end model and technically a SUPERFLY 5. So with the indoor versions of this shoe, nothing extra is included. Aesthetically, this is still a CR7 Chapter 5 signature colorway. So for the most part, it looks a lot like the regular SUPERFLY 5 that you see Cristiano Ronaldo wearing on the field. The difference being, because it is the indoor model, it does feature MercurialX branding rather than just saying straight up Mercurial. So a very minor difference there. And then because it is the indoor model, the construction is a little bit different at the back. So this little piece right here looks a little different, and because it's more narrowed right here, they've moved this design up and changed the positioning a little bit, where you still have the same logo, and then in Spanish, the dream of a child written out, but it's positioned a little bit differently that I actually think looks quite good. Everything else, for the most part, on the upper is identical to the regular SUPERFLY 5. It has the blue tint base, with, of course, the multicolor Flyknit running within the speed rib texturing, which is a really nice detail that's far more noticeable in person than I think a lot of the pictures would lead you to believe. It's a much more colorful shoe rather than just being kind of solid white, but it's not really white. It's blue tint as a base. So it's like a light blue, almost white color with this blue sparkle effect on the Nike Skin top covering, which is mostly translucent. And then you have this kind of fade in diamond pattern, or diamond, whatever you want to call that. From the bottom, it kind of fades up towards the laces, which looks really cool. You have the CR7 logo with more of those diamond cuts that are 3D on the shoe. And then of course the collar with the black accents, all the same as what you would find on the regular SUPERFLY 5 in this particular colorway. Of course, it's an indoor model, so you do have a midsole, which is solid white in color, the embossed Nike logo right there. And then the outsole looks really, really good and works so well with this particular design, being this kind of frosted icy blue color, which just looks absolutely fantastic. It is fully translucent. You can see you have the white stitching there across the toe as well. And overall, I just think this is a really, really good looking indoor shoe. But let me know your opinions on this down below in the comment section. As far as performance is concerned, this can be summed up as the indoor version of the SUPERFLY 5. If that's what you're looking for, this is what you want. There are three main differences though in comparison to the firm ground SUPERFLY 5, which is the most common version that people buy. The first difference being this little piece at the back that I showed you earlier. Looks a little bit different, but does not feel any different whatsoever when you're actually wearing the shoe, so keep that in mind. Fairly insignificant difference. Second difference is going to be the weight. In a size 9 US, these guys weigh in at 10.1 ounces, so they are not overly lightweight by any means. They're actually, I would say, slightly above average in terms of most high-end indoor soccer shoes available. And obviously in comparison to the firm ground SUPERFLY 5, that's about 3 ounces more. So these are gonna feel a lot heavier on your feet in comparison to a regular SUPERFLY. But the reasoning for the extra weight is because of how much rubber they put on the bottom here. You can see you got a full rubber toe cap area, even extending into the forefoot for the sake of durability and overall very, very good traction. So again, the weight is definitely higher than a regular SUPERFLY. And then the third main difference is going to be the overall fit. It's still a Mercurial, it still has a really tight fit, and we'll talk about this more a little bit later in the video. But because this features a completely different bottom, rather than the standard Nike plate sole plate you'd find on the firm ground SUPERFLY, obviously the fit is going to be changed at least a little bit. They won't feel exactly the same on feet. The upper though is pretty much identical aside from what I just pointed out. It's the same Flyknit construction with the speed rib texturing, offering a barefoot feel with that slight amount of padding and really a sock-like sensation because of the knitted material, especially once broken in. It has the full Nike Skin covering. It even has ACC all conditions control, even though you're unlikely to be wearing these in wet weather. I guess unless it's raining and you're playing street soccer or something like that, in which case maybe ACC might come in handy, but I really don't think it's a big deal at all. You still have the flywire cables running from the base of the sole into the lacing system, so when you tie the laces tight, really does a good job of locking your foot in place and giving you a nice responsive feel in general. Internal heel counter, same mid-cut design. The heel liner on the inside is pretty much the same as well. Give you guys a quick look at the insole, because that too is a little bit different. You can see it's the same pattern, the same design on the heel, but it's made out of a red foam rather than the standard kind of neon yellow green foam you'd find on a regular Superfly. And this foam essentially is just a little bit thicker, and really this is what's going to be providing the majority of your underfoot cushioning, because while this looks fairly significant, the midsole here, you actually sit much lower in the shoe. The midsole is a Phylon foam, but instead of sitting up here, you actually sit more close to down there. So kind of halfway down from what you see on the outside, which means that the amount of padding under your feet is very, very minimal. So if you were expecting this to have a lot of underfoot cushioning similar to a running shoe, that is not the case at all. These are very low profile and offer more of a barefoot feel in terms of running around in them. Flexibility, I would say, is decent. They get more flexible over time. You can see they did incorporate some flex grooves right here through the midfoot, although you're not gonna get too much flex out of this area. It's more so just for rotational twisting. And then of course, the outsole, this being the indoor bottom, which does extend across the toe area and the forefoot with the nylon stitching, kind of that high wear zone where it could be rubbing and scraping against the ground. Obviously, this is there to protect the upper and just increase the overall durability of the shoe. And then the indoor bottom, it works quite well. It's got a really nice traction pattern that has some fairly pliable rubber to it. As far as how it works on indoor courts, as long as it's not overly dusty, the traction is very, very good. If it is dusty, like most indoor shoes, it'll clog up pretty easily, and you're gonna have to wipe it with your hand every 2 or 3 minutes to keep it going as far as traction is concerned, but that is normal for 99% of indoor shoes out there. Dusty, you're gonna have issues. If it's clean, it's gonna grip really, really well. And as far as street soccer is concerned, on the road, asphalt, concrete, whatever it may be, this traction works really, really good. And because of the thickness of the rubber, which like I talked about, does add to the weight of the shoe, the durability and overall traction actually ends up being very, very good. So as an overall package, it's a very, very solid indoor shoe. It's definitely not perfect. I think a lot of people would probably want this to be a lot lighter than it is, but if it was a lot lighter, it would also be a lot less durable. And this tends to be a product that holds up pretty well. So if you're looking for an indoor version of the Superfly 5, this is the product for you. All right, so as you can see, I swapped out the stock blue tint laces for some dark multicolor reflective SR4U replacement laces, which look really cool on this shoe because it really highlights the multicolor aspect found on the upper already. So if you want to add a little bit more color to what looks more like a white shoe from a distance, this is the way to do it. Anyways, if you guys are interested in a pair of SR4U laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen, as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. On feet, these shoes are actually pretty comfortable out of the box. I would say a little bit more so than the Firm Ground Superfly 5, mainly because it's not quite as tight a squeeze. I would say the regular Superfly requires a little bit more break-in time. The only thing you really have to be concerned about here is the heel area, as with pretty much any of the mid-cut shoes from Nike. Take your time with that because it can cause blisters if you start running around immediately after getting them, wearing them straight into a game. Definitely not a good idea. But as far as the rest of the upper is concerned, the general feel is the same as a regular Superfly because it's the same construction. The Flyknit material feels really soft. It offers that sock-like sensation. And as you wear them in, that's obviously gonna get a lot more flexible. And as far as the underfoot cushioning is concerned, again, it's fairly low profile. If you're looking for a lot of underfoot cushioning, this is definitely not for you. It's more of a barefoot sensation underfoot overall. As far as the width is concerned, because I did mention that is a little bit different, these basically just feel wider than what you'd find from the regular Superfly. Not to the point where I would say that these are super, super wide where they'll fit anybody, but they definitely are wider. I would say fairly average in terms of overall width, but still feel really, really nice. The toe box is a little bit more roomy, the forefoot's a little bit wider, even the midfoot is a touch wider than the regular Superfly. But again, if you've worn the regular Superfly, if you like the fit of Mercurials, you're still really gonna like the way that these fit and feel on feet. Still top notch, I would say. And as far as the sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. That is it for my review. Again, if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $185 retail price. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.